Welcome everyone to Gotham City Central. As always, or Gotham City Bulletin. God damn it! As always, I am
All right.
Subject, and I have Robert and Torgo or Noah with me, and we're here to do a spooky movie. We're gonna do
It's
Terrifier
the
2,
spooky
right?
season.
We're gonna do
Oh,
the Terrifier movies. Oh wait, this
well,
is a different channel.
that's
no,
the
we
other
are,
channel.
we are here to do the Batman versus Dracula. I don't remember anything about this movie. I know I've seen it, but I don't remember anything about it. Where does this guy rank for you guys? You were pretty high on it before we started.
Yeah, I mean, it's probably one of the better. It probably ranks one of the top Batman animated movies, but that's just because it doesn't have a whole lot of great competition outside of like Mask of the Phantasm and Under the Red Hood, which we did.
I think Noah
earlier.
just said that this is better than Mask of the Phantasm. That's a hot take.
It's not, but it is a really good Batman movie.
No, why are you walking back what you just said?
This is something these are words that you put in my mouth.
I don't think that's true. Robert, was that true?
That's what I heard.
All right, you being on the fence here, Robert. Playing both sides.
Anyway, so we're just gonna hop into it because we're already 15 minutes late. That's my bad. The Wolfman remake went way longer than I thought, and that movie sucks. So
I'm so sorry.
Did you watch the extended cut or the theatrical?
I think it said unrated. It's just boring.
I like the movie, alright, but
of course you do.
It drags this place.
Yeah, because I've never heard you say anything bad about a movie. That's just Believer. So apparently that is your bar.
Do we have to do this again?
Didn't you do a whole commentary on Salem's Lot?
Salem's Lot.
Yeah.
But is that better or worse than Exorcist Believer?
It's not worse than Exorcist Believer.
Okay, so Salem's Lot is the new bar. No, I'm just kidding. Robert, I don't keep track of things, so yes, I will probably mention this again because I forget. Sue me.
I keep forgetting you love Exorcist Believer and are so offended that I dislike that movie.
It was rough, rough experience. Anyway, in 3, is everybody at timestamp 0?
Yes, do you have the timer up?
I do. In 3, 2, 1, go. So yes, Robert, when you have to ask, are we going to do this again? The answer is yes, because I've forgotten. It is not me trying to bring something back. It's me not remembering that we've done this forever. I have a shit memory. The Batman.
They really should have played this at the beginning of this movie.
Yeah, I guess they wanted to be like, I don't want to say theatrical, but like cinematic.
Mm-hmm. It's a shame this isn't in widescreen. This is just the standard, TV aspect ratio of the time. But it's still a good
blue versus red.
Mm-hmm. And what they're doing with the music's really cool because that show did a lot of electric guitar stuff, and they're mixing
animated series.
Yes, and so this movie will mix a lot of like electric guitar stuff with violins and very classical instruments, like this old meets new, this clashing of Batman Dracula. It's really good sound design. This opening credits sequence
is old Batman created by Bob Kane.
Yep. And like I said, I like the music here. This opening credits is kind of stock. It's very like Return of the Joker, like that very minimalist.
Is it flickering for you?
I think it does that a little.
I can't tell if it's
on purpose.
On purpose or
it's on
purpose.
Not
like that. Yeah. And it looks like it's
giving
glitching.
You a seizure. Don't watch this if you have epilepsy.
Seizure warning. There's a little bit of that in this movie. There's at least one sequence with some strobe lighting. But although fascinating, you see some names that will pop up, like the Sam Liu, people like that get more involved with like the animated movies.
I'm shocked we've never tried this with like another continuity. Oh, it's interesting that yours is the TV ratio, aspect ratio, Robert. Mine is full screen.
Yeah, mine's widescreen.
It's probably because you're watching it on a disc from like 2002.
That's a good question. I believe you guys have the cropped version, but I could be incorrect.
His disc came out 3 years before the movie came out.
Yes. Robert, show off your DVD because you're the only one that has a copy. Let us see that beautiful art, cover art.
It's got a nice cover. I like this image.
So, funnily enough, when I was looking for a thumbnail, I found that like in a wallpaper version, which is what I always go for. But I hesitated because it kind of looks like it's hand drawn instead of like, I don't know, what would you call it, like made on a computer or something. So I thought I had found like fan art, and then I'm looking at the posters and like, no, they all look like this.
Yeah, it's got kind of a digital look to it. It's not bad though.
No.
I like it. But yeah, but the thing is, it doesn't say like full screen or anything like that. Like it's just the movie. So, and this aired on TV originally. Like that's how I watched it the first time. But yeah, I actually don't know which version is the cropped and which one's the correct.
I just love that Arkham Asylum lets him keep the monocle.
Yes, that seems really dangerous.
And in hindsight, it feels weird to watch a Batman film that doesn't credit Bill Finger. It's just it's unfortunate, but it's just the way it was.
Yeah. It's just one of those things that jumps out to you, like, oh, this is before we were crediting him.
Yeah. So you may have noticed this is a show that puts Penguin in Arkham for no reason, just because we don't have Blackgate.
Because that's where all the bad guys go.
They didn't feel like drawing that.
This isn't the only place that's.
No, but it's one of the rare occasions.
That's where Colin Farrell's Penguin will end up.
Oh my God, the Joker escaped.
Honestly, this might just show like my lack of knowledge of the animated series. The first time I hear Blackgate is Arkham Asylum.
Oh, okay, that makes sense. Yeah, we don't do a lot of Blackgate stuff before that game. Even in animated series, it's called Stonegate.
I was going to say, I don't think it's called Blackgate in the animated series, but the Arkhamverse was probably my first exposure to Blackgate as well.
Because with animated series, like I had seen mostly the Batman Superman crossover, but I'm born just a little too late to be old enough to see that because I'm born in 92, and I think that's when that show is airing. So by the time I'm old enough to be interested in like, Batman and stuff like that on TV, this show has come out.
Yeah, and 2005, same year as Batman Begins. Just for context, how old this thing is.
No, I like Begins.
Christian Bale wishes he had the Bat Wave. I think we talked about how we talked about how stupid the Bat Wave is and the Batman watch party, but it's just funny.
Have you guys noticed this kind of like revisionist history that's been going on with the Nolan movies? Where it's like, oh,
yes.
Those were never good. Shut up. Yes, they were.
I haven't seen that at all, actually. Who's saying that?
Oh, I feel like I see it all the time. It's like, oh, well, actually, those weren't very good.
Huh. Well, those people are wrong.
And I wonder how much of that is people didn't like Rises. Because that's mixed at best.
It's a factor. Yeah.
That has to be a factor, yeah. And that movie's not even that bad.
Yes, it is.
I mean, it was a big hit.
No, I mean, I liked that movie when it came out. It's just, it doesn't hold up on repeat viewings. And per tradition, the Joker and the Penguin are the only villains allowed to be on screen.
That's true. We did get a cameo from Ventriloquist at the Asylum.
If I remember correctly, they're the only other villains besides Dracula in this movie, right?
Yeah. And they're used well. They're not too shoehorned in. That it works because we're starting like a normal episode of that show before we segue into the Dracula stuff, but it also doesn't feel like a pointless filler opening like a lot of the more recent movies do. Where it's like we need to open with a big action scene that's inconsequential to the plot. Like, no, this stuff's gonna matter.
It is kind of interesting, though. I was thinking about this, or I'm thinking about this now, where we have all these Joker episodes. Him and Batman do not have that like interesting yin and yang relationship as much in this show.
No.
No, he's not really positioned as Batman's arch nemesis in the show because I don't know. From what I remember, he doesn't really have an arch nemesis in the Batman. It's just kind of like a different villain a week. Yeah.
And I actually think we'll get to it later. This movie has some of the best Batman Joker interactions in the series. When the show,
sorry, I love the stuff of him as Joker as a vampire later.
We'll get great. To that. This scene is very
graveyard set.
Yeah, it looks great. So, John, if you missed it, Penguin was talking to a guy who was like, "Oh, I found this money. I buried it by the headstone with the cross at the cemetery." And he's like, "There's all these freaking crosses."
That's
I didn't have enough information. It's very Good, the Bad, and the Ugly. Minor spoilers for that movie, but with the search for the money and that, like, clearly an influence. But so right off the bat, this tells you how shallow this Joker is because he's also just after money. Yeah. Like his motivation is him and Joker and Penguin are just racing to get to this loot. So not that compelling.
I wish there was a 3-way gun showdown between Batman, the Joker, and Penguin like there is the Good, the Bad, and the Ugly.
This is awesome.
This is great. My only nitpick is it would have been nice if we had gotten that initial Joker costume in the pilot with the straitjacket. Because I kind of prefer that look in this continuity. Because in his like second episode, we shift to this outfit, which is a little bit more traditional, and we only get to see that purple straitjacket look like a couple times, and I just kind of miss it because it stands out.
I just like that costume for what this Joker design is, with like the physicality of him being like a bit more feral. I wish
he looks really cool.
Well,
I wish they kept it
like
through the
out
whole
of all
series.
Of them, he's the one they changed to be more traditional.
Yes, and I think that's because of Backlash. I think they're like, okay, let's tone down this design a little, make it a little more classic.
Which is why you should not always listen to fans.
Right.
Sounds like, screw the fans, never listen to them.
Well, I just mean like criticism like that just means that you're not taking the show on its own terms. You just want more animated series.
Yes.
They also should have gotten rid of Penguin's big hat.
I like it. But right off the bat, we got actual blood. If anyone's worried this is going to be a 90s Spider-Man Morbius situation, don't worry. We have actual blood.
Would be better if it was a 90s Spider-Man Morbius situation. I've come for your plasma, Penguin.
No, I always forget because I'm not sure with the blood and stuff. Is this a PG-13 or is it PG?
I don't think it's rated.
Do they do that?
Might be unrated.
Yeah, this is an unrated movie technically, which is weird because like it aired on television.
I thought that this was made. I know it aired on television, but I thought it was straight to DVD first.
I think it happened at like around the same time.
Anime fan says Joker and Penguin could be considered Batman's two biggest enemies. You know what this movie really needs? This needs singing and someone to stab this Joker. And
spoilers.
Hey, I didn't say what I was referencing.
Everybody knows. Anyway, that's gonna date this commentary.
I really like that this Dracula starts with a very Nosferatu-looking design, and then he'll evolve into a more traditional Dracula as the movie gets going.
That's really cool.
Just really inspired design work.
And Penguin here is going to become his Renfield, basically.
That's true.
Remember when it could do stuff like this with kid shows?
Yeah. Well, they wouldn't. I don't think they'd be able to do a lot of this in the show. The blood, especially. That's something you never see in the show.
No, but like we can't make even like spin-offs of a kid show like this anymore.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, they
Everything
don't.
has
Well,
to be
now
for
it's like
a little bit.
babies.
Now it's like there's just this hard line. It's like there's the stuff for adults and the stuff for 5-year-olds, and it's like we don't get a lot in between anymore. I
Yeah,
think
we're
that's the problem.
like, if I was 13 now, I would have like nothing.
Except for the MCU, I guess.
And even that is kind of trajected more into like, this is
It's
for
pretty
little
tame.
kids.
Yeah. Oh, dude, there's a lot of stuff they do in Phase 1 that they couldn't do now, at least in the PG-13
Well,
stuff.
I mean,
But
I guess
this,
they would have nothing. Like, that's why anime is so popular, right? Because that goes to those places.
Mhm. So obviously this is a bit of a fake out. It's still super grisly.
No, this is
like
horrifying.
when I was
Holy
a kid, I
crap.
was like, "Holy shit!" Like,
Joker died.
That's why I was really excited for that Batman Ninja movie, and I didn't end up liking it. But
it was very divisive.
I
I
like
think it's
that
kind of
movie.
boring. And that was a seizure warning. Jesus Christ.
Yeah, that's what I was referring to earlier. But yeah, Joker getting electrocuted by his own hand buzzer in the water.
You
Good
killed
stuff.
Captain Clown. Warner Brothers, I am begging you, put this on Blu-ray. I will buy it.
How is this not on Blu-ray yet?
I don't
How
know.
is this not with that Blu-ray set they put out of the show?
I know.
It should have been.
I wonder if there's some rights with the Dracula thing.
I don't think
Is-
so because I think it's
is-
public domain.
I was gonna say, is he public domain?
Is Dracula public domain?
I would think so.
I think so.
He's been
Maybe.
around for a long time.
I know Nosferatu is.
And we touched on with the graveyard earlier, but we're doing this movie in October for a reason. It's got such a spooky, Halloweeny vibe to it.
Yeah.
Wait,
I
and the
almost said
show
the
goes to
Batman,
those
but-
places. Yeah, we'll get to that at
But
some
we're doing
point.
the Batman. Is it that?
Yeah.
We're
But yeah,
not
we're
doing the
we're
Batman.
doing the,
we're
we're
doing
starting
the
with the
Batman.
sequel. We're starting with the sequel, the Batman vs Dracula. Then we'll get to the Batman, the first.
Oh
one.
my god. Can you imagine if Colin Farrell became Renfield in the second Batman movie?
I would love that.
Dead guys don't do that.
And then the Joker that they teased at the end of that movie gets this big role in the second one, even though we don't really know him.
So one
So-
thing I will complain about a little bit, and this is a minor thing, just a me thing. I don't like when we make the vampires like zombies, where when you bite them, they turn into vampires. Like, it should be a little more calculated than that.
To be fair, in the context of how they work the mythology in this movie, the idea is when you're Dracula, you bite someone, you suck some of their blood, and then they become like a zombie vampire, but like they're a servant to you. They don't have their own autonomy. Dracula's still his own thing. So like you're turned into a vampire, but you're a servant. Because it's there's still some compromises here that you gotta roll with. I'm still surprised they get away with as much as they do.
Can you imagine if Joker was just a vampire for the rest of the show?
That'd be
I
awesome.
would love that.
I like a lot
They
of his
don't address
Batman's
it.
gadgets. I'm not feeling that Batmobile. It's a little.
Yeah,
I don't
it's
know.
fine. It's very toyetic.
Alfred, he's doing what Batman does. He broods.
I like how disturbed he is by Joker's death.
Yeah.
No, it actually affects him.
And if you missed it, the Penguin is also hypnotized by Dracula. He's not just working for him out of fear; like he's not 100% himself.
Oh, this stuff's really cool.
Mhm.
If only it was animated.
Yeah, that's a lot of people. That's the trade-off.
They didn't have the budget. Yeah.
I can believe that they killed Dracula and we're like, okay, ship him off to fucking Gotham where no one's gonna care. It'll be their problem.
No, I love that.
Gotham's a wasteland. They can deal with Dracula.
Even in the 1800s, they're like, fuck Gotham. And here we get Vicky Vale, who never appears in the show. This is her only appearance in this continuity.
Oh, right. That's kind of weird that she's never in the show, but she's just in this.
Mm-hmm. Well, you gotta have a main love interest for this story.
Yeah, I guess it's just weird that they never thought to do anything with Vicky in the show.
Mm-hmm. And she's voiced by Tara Strong.
Don't adapt much.
Yeah.
No, but even any love interest, I'd say.
That show doesn't have like any recurring love interest. Like even their Catwoman, like there's some flirtation, but like Bruce only seriously dates Selena on like one episode. Like he doesn't get like a main love interest ever in that show, really.
He is very much the playboy persona, dedicated to his war on crime Batman.
Yeah, and that show never gets to do Talia. You know, that's a pretty big one.
Which honestly, I'm fine with. Like maybe it's just modern me, but I'm kind of fine with Batman not having a love interest.
His one love is Gotham.
I don't see Batman as someone who, like, even if he has a love interest, it will never work.
Like the Andrea Beaumont type of story. The tragic. Yeah. Why it doesn't.
Part of that is Tom King has just ruined the idea of Batman being with anyone. Because if I ever have to read another Batcat style story, I will unalive myself.
Oh, jeez.
No,
I'm with you on that.
I hate Tom King's Batman.
I'm with you on him not having a permanent love interest. I'm just surprised that they didn't even try to do anything along the lines of an Andrea Beaumont type of thing in the show.
And I like it when Batman's single. It seems like John and I agree about Batman's romantic. Sort of. I don't mind him being interested in someone.
It depends on the story.
And it depends on the story. Because like I love the romance in Mask of the Phantasm. But it should never be something that goes anywhere.
Right.
I've always seen when you make Batman settle down with like Catwoman, like in the Earth 2 when they have like Helena Wayne, that would be like Sherlock Holmes marrying Irene Sadler.
I don't know. In the context of that continuity, I'm cool with it.
Well, I guess that's a what if. Just or like an alternate universe. Just, I mean, in general, that's something that we keep toying with, and anytime we do an alternate universe. The Injustice one is absurd because she betrays him like 60 times. He's like, yeah, sure, come on back. And like, I don't mind it in the Nolan one because that's set up from the beginning. It's like, this guy's not going to be Batman forever.
Yeah.
He's not going to be Batman and Robin either.
Yeah.
Yeah. So earlier you were talking about like, you know, these types of vampires are favorite, like the zombie idea, like you're just bit and you're a vampire. Again, I think this movie strikes a good balance with that. And there's this interesting kind of kinship that vampires and zombies always have had in fiction. Like we get what we think of as modern zombies because of vampires with stuff like the book I Am Legend, where like that's kind of our proto-zombie, but they're called vampires in that because the author didn't know what else to call them. And then you get Night of the Living Dead when it's like refined, like, oh, this is what a zombie is now. But like I said, I think this works in that when you're bitten, you become a vampire, but as like a minion of Dracula. Like I guess the assumption is there needs to be that trade-off thing with someone you target specifically to be a full vampire who has their own autonomy, which we don't really get to in this movie, but you can infer that. Because all these vampires are basically Dracula's slave.
Mm-hmm. Damn, he tore his gloves.
Yeah. You tore my gloves. But and we were talking earlier about like the spooky vibes of this movie. The show gets to go to those places a lot. There's the episode where we actually do zombies, kind of that Hugo Strange episode. That was awesome.
Strange. That episode rocks. But I was gonna say earlier, speaking of just episodes of the show, you mentioned this is one of the best Batman and Joker moments. For me, it is that episode where Joker pretends to be Batman.
That's a good one. Yeah.
I forget. Did we get to the zombie episode on the Batman one?
Okay. I don't remember.
No, we didn't, because I was really rooting for it, but we didn't. We got I think we got the Batman Superman one though.
I think so.
Oh right, and I had to leave after a few episodes, so I probably wasn't there for that.
Yeah, you bastard.
I know.
No, I really like that Batman Superman 2-parter because it's kind of a flip on their usual dynamic, where like this Batman is a team player, and the Superman is more of a loner.
And this is
field.
Yeah.
I'm probably the biggest fan of this take on Penguin here. I think he works best as just straight up comic relief, than having to be like the main villain of his own episode. I think he's used really well in this movie.
Yeah, I like him fine in this movie, but not my favorite take on Penguin in general, I'd say.
I would say I like this Penguin, but this is a Penguin I like in moderation. My biggest issue with this is he's too much of the show.
He's everywhere. And so is Joker, but their Joker's pretty good.
Mm.
Yeah, and that's things like their Joker I never get tired of the way I do like Penguin.
Sure.
Yeah.
Like there's that one episode where he like kidnaps Alfred and Bruce has to fight those like weird twin things. I think that episode is a slog.
I don't even remember that one.
I think that's
the show.
I don't. I haven't watched it that much.
What a fake Batman fan.
I'm a fan of other Batman things.
Oh my god.
I really would have loved to see what they would do with like the Riddler in a situation like this. Imagine him like leaving riddles for Dracula. He's so good.
Oh, that would be amazing if Riddler was Dracula's Renfield, and Dracula's like, I just stop with the fucking riddles, man. I just need you to perform your tasks.
I just need you to set this up over here. Just don't make it a fucking riddle.
Oh, like what's that story we read a while ago where like Riddler like hires a bunch of people to rob a bank and like he keeps putting it off because he can't get the puzzle right.
That's in Nightfall.
Yeah. They're like, screw you.
And this Dracula voice is really cool too.
Peter Stormare.
I can't hear it very well, unfortunately.
Oh, it's great. Peter Stormare, who I mostly know from Fargo.
Excuse me, he's in the Lost World Jurassic Park.
Oh, well.
He has the best death in that movie.
He does.
I wish I remembered it.
He's the guy that gets chased by the compies.
The what?
You don't know what a compy is, you fake dinosaur fan.
You are lying right now.
I'm not lying. I genuinely don't remember that.
Do you remember the scene where the guy's being chased by the little dinosaurs when he separates off from the group?
Yeah, okay. Those are called copies?
Compies.
Oh. Combies?
It's short for something.
COMPYS.
Okay.
That's Peter Stormare.
Anyway, he's also in good movies like Fargo and The Big Lebowski.
The Lost World is better than Fargo.
And Batman vs. Dracula.
But anyway, my point for that was, sorry, Robert, real quick. Robert and I have been playing the Until Dawn remake, which I don't know if you know what that is, but that's like one of those point-click adventure games. And there's segments where you're talking to like kind of like a Crypt Keeper type narrator or host, and it's Peter Stormare.
Oh, awesome.
Oh, he's also in the opening of John Wick 2. You've seen that, right?
Yes.
I don't think Noah
he gets
does.
his car back.
He doesn't even know what a compy is.
With a fucking pencil.
With a fucking pencil.
So this does that kind of convenient, like, of course, the woman Dracula's interested in is the woman who's dating Bruce Wayne. It's fine.
Yeah.
At least it makes sense in this setting that this is where he'd meet her and obviously be immediately interested. Also, this is Bruce Wayne's party, so it makes sense that he'd go for the girl that's with, like, the richest guy here. Like, it tracks.
Yeah. And I mean, of all the plot contrivances, this is the one I mind the least. Like,
yeah, it's an 85-minute movie.
There's no need to introduce another woman for him to go after when there's one right there.
And they also have to adapt Dracula in some way. Like, this is basically like the Mina of the movie.
Don't forget, Peter Stormare is also in Constantine.
Oh yeah.
Oh yeah.
Oh yeah. Which makes Batman both Jonathan Harker and Van Helsing in this movie, I guess. Not all the analogies are perfect, but they're kind of there.
It's a stretch.
And so, Noah, with that Until Dawn game, they're making a movie out of that for some reason. But he's going to he's going to reprise his role.
Oh, cool.
I don't know how that's going to work, because that only works like in a game because he's talking to the player.
He'll be the narrator.
I'm very fascinated to see what that movie looks like, because I can't picture it. I'm also very scared.
Some shit.
You know who's writing that fucking movie?
Someone talented and
Gary Dauberman.
Austin's favorite.
It's directed by David Sandberg.
He has a mixed track record, David Sandberg.
Yeah, I liked the first Shazam.
Fury of the Gods.
I didn't like the second one.
I thought you liked that more than the first one.
I did like that Lights Out movie, though.
Yeah, I heard good things about that.
Oh, I love that this movie does the goofy Alucard name.
Alucard.
It's so good.
Dracula.
And that's very anime influenced, because I believe somebody in the comments below will probably correct me, but this is around the time that Helsing started to get really popular here. The main character in that is named Alucard. There's like a big mystery about like who he is, but that anime is awesome. I don't know if you know what that is, but he plays a vampire who kills other monsters, and it ends in a 3-way war between the vampires, the Nazis, and the Catholics. It's awesome.
Great.
That sounds amazing. It also sounds like something you just made up, but I believe you.
And it's gory as fuck, too.
Nice. Oh, an anime I'll actually have to check out then.
You need to watch Dragon Ball, you fraud.
Man.
You can watch Dragon Ball Z Kai on Hulu. It's perfect for newcomers.
There's too much of it.
Oh my god, that mirror is broken.
There's a glitch in the Matrix.
That's what he's like. Master Bruce, we're in a simulation. It's the only logical explanation.
Master Bruce,
we're in an animated movie.
Oh no.
They forgot to draw this man.
This Dracula, like, he just looks like what Ra's al Ghul could have looked like in this continuity, right?
Yeah, he kind of does.
Yeah.
You replace the red with the green, and he's basically Ra's.
Is this show going to act like he's a genius for figuring out that Alucard is Dracula?
Yes.
That's some Troll 2 shit.
This is a movie
to be
for
fair,
babies.
It doesn't take him 90 minutes to figure it out.
Hey, we're on Nilbog Street. I wonder what that could mean.
He's gonna write Red Room on the wall.
He writes the ID card, turns it up, it says murder.
Murder. It says Nilbog.
Peter Stormare is Mr. Freeze in Justice League Action. I kind of
Yeah,
want to see what that's
I
like.
told you that. I want to check out the episodes. Yeah, I think he's in like 2.
Yeah, I told you I don't remember things. What do you mean no corpses drained? You just fought like 6 of them.
Well, okay, so the idea is, again, it's kind of a convenience to make this movie happen, but the idea is he wants to create minions first, and then when he has a big enough army, then they're actually going to feed and kill people.
Okay,
so right now, his focus is just
he just fought.
I think he's referring to he's like people who are dead. Those people
he's looking at
animated
folklore.
Corpses.
With the information that he has available, he doesn't know that those people can be saved. They look like corpses.
Well, to be fair, he's gonna. A big part of his motivation is trying to figure out how to reverse that.
He's just gonna go full Alex Kurtzman. I will cure death. Oh God, Thomas
I will
Wayne
be
really
the most.
creepy.
I will be the most powerful Batman ever. I will even learn to stop people from dying.
No, did you see that they're apparently going to do an Obi-Wan season 2?
Why?
Because Ewan wants it.
Yeah, he's like, I want to wear the Clone Wars armor, and I want to do more stuff with Hayden. Okay. All that stuff has been done to death, but sure.
I mean, I love you, Ewan, but no.
It wouldn't get me excited because I've already been burned so bad by season 1. I'd be more on board if they went more of an anthology route, where it's like, no, just each episode will be in its own time period with its own standalone adventure, and you could have like the framework being him on Tatooine, like writing in his journal or something. That's the only pitch that he'd be like on board, but I don't trust
that or just something on Tatooine with him mentoring Luke, like what it should have been in the first place.
Don't put him in space. Don't bring Vader back.
Because like you, Robert, I was super. I guess I shouldn't say like you, but I was super excited for the first season, and I was like ignoring all of the red flags. So I was like, I don't care. Ian McGregor's coming back. Like I like the prequels despite the red flags. And then there was like one scene in the whole show that I enjoyed.
I'm so sorry, John.
Yeah. It had 2 or 3 good scenes.
They're all with Obi-Wan and Vader. They don't make sense in the canon.
That's correct. So this is really funny. They have this working plasma TV. They must have a really long extension cord.
Oh God, I haven't heard plasma TV in so long, Robert.
Yeah, they draw attention to it. Penguin's like, oh, you like the plasma?
Are we just taking the parallels between Batman so far, where he has to have a Bat Cave too?
Yeah.
Yes.
So he's got his own Bat computer.
No, because he's also even drawn, like, if you notice, his cape is wrapped around him just the way, same with Batman's is. Yep. It wouldn't surprise me if this is a reused character model that they just changed the face.
No, it's distinctly its own thing, but I really like it. Also, Penguin looks at Vicky and says, "Nice jugulars."
Whoa.
We don't get away with that one anymore.
What is this, the Danny DeVito Penguin? Why is he so horny?
That's just finding character trait. What I really like about that scene, though, is because in another movie, it'd be this goofy thing like, oh, what? He turns on the TV and like the first woman he sees falls in love with. No. There's actual setup for it. He meets Vicky at the party and she says, oh, I'm on the news. Like, you can see me again this time. So he's watching specifically for her. So she already has his attention. So it's not super contrived.
It's not like 89.
Right.
He just sees a picture of her. I like that Alfred packs garlic for him.
Mm-hmm. I love the Batman Alfred. His sass meter is at like an 11. That whole show.
Is he the sassiest Alfred?
Possibly.
But you know what? Since we've talked about this on the channel before, how it's hard to pick like a bad Alfred because they're mostly all good. We should rank all the Alfreds on how sassy they are.
I was talking about to John the other day on the other channel about doing a tier list for something this month. If we can have room for that, it wouldn't be this year, but I want to do a tier list of Loomis in the Halloween franchise by insanity.
That's great.
Is this Gotham PD?
I'm down for that.
Yes.
Yep.
Okay.
Okay, so they think that he's
does this take place
killing people.
That is a good question. I believe this comes out between seasons 2 and 3. It's a little unclear where exactly this is set in the time.
Have we gotten Gordon yet? I don't remember.
Okay, so Gordon is introduced at the end of season 2, which then carries over to season 3.
Have we gotten?
He's not in this movie.
He's not in the movie.
Okay. We don't see any of the. No, we don't see Batgirl. We don't see Gordon. It's mostly just Batman.
In this, though.
Robin's not in the show until season 4.
No, but I know. But I mean, I thought Robin was in this movie.
No, he's not.
Interesting.
Yeah. Okay, so this scene's really cool because it's season 1. The first couple seasons are very like Batman's vigilante and the police are after him, but we never do like the big year 1 set piece where he's like cornered and trapped by the SWAT team. We kind of get that here, except they're all taken out by Dracula. So it's kind of a cool twist on it.
That's fun.
Yeah, that's a cool twist.
Because first you think Batman's taking these guys out, and then you're like, oh god.
Okay, so I'm still trying to like rack this in my brain with the show. Is Yin and that other cop in this?
They're not in this movie.
So
weird.
So this could take place before everything.
That's again, it's a little murky when. That's also what I like about this movie. It's like you could easily show this to somebody who's never seen the show. It's entirely standalone. You don't need a prerequisite, which is really cool.
I think I did watch this before I actually watched the show. Now that I think about it.
Yeah, I mean, that's fine. I don't need it to be continuity heavy. I just like to know where it takes place.
Right. There's also this weird thing because there's kind of a creative overhaul behind the scenes. So there are some major changes going from 2 to 3. Yin is never written out. She just disappears. Yeah, so it's like, where does this movie set during that? I don't know.
We need again. Screw bringing back the DCAU. Bring this back. Give us answers.
Would be opposed?
Or just let it all.
It's a pretty
in our memories.
That's why I'm glad we at least have that future set episode in season 4 because they kind of already had a built-in series finale where we see what the future's like, and even though we don't see them, there is a mention of Yin being the commissioner. So even though we don't see her, it's just this nice little like bow on that.
Which I don't know if that still counts once you bring in Gordon.
No, but that's like decades into the future. That's well after Gordon's.
I get that, but how would she be the commissioner after Gordon? They're the same age.
No, they're not. He's like at least 20 years older than her.
Oh.
In this continuity.
He looks really young in this show.
He's got some gray on the sides, but yeah, it is a younger looking Gordon.
Like
but I've always
though.
He's good.
That's Mitch Pileggi, I think. Feels weird seeing Vicky Vale not have blonde hair.
I think she's originally a redhead.
Hey, I'm all for redhead representation. They keep erasing us in movies.
Oh no, let's not get on that tangent. Oh my god, guys, it's the title of the movie.
This is awesome.
Here we are. Yeah, this is great.
That's concussion.
That's something this show does a lot. Is they'll throw Batman through like brick walls and he's fine. Like I don't think that's how brick works, but okay.
That's fine for this more like anime inspired.
Yeah.
No, that's right. Is clearly
these are action figures.
Yes.
He's clearly outmatched here. So.
Oh, that shot's great. And just sliding down the building.
No, this might be my 3rd or 4th favorite Batman movie.
It's really good. That's gonna leave him work.
That's gonna hurt in the morning. No, Peter Stormare is killing it. I can hear it now.
He's great. So only room for one bat in Gotham.
Gotham. Can you imagine if it was Arnold?
Well, Dracula's always been a very sexy character.
Except that's actually true, unlike the Mr. Freeze.
So this Alfred, it comes back for the Tomorrowverse. That's the same guy.
Oh, cool.
Oh.
Actually, he's been Alfred in a couple things. He's also in those Batman Unlimited movies, which we're gonna have to do. Yeah. Good luck getting your hands on those.
I would love if they brought this Batman back in something. Rino Romano. I don't know what happened. Like, he might be retired. Like, I never like see him or hear him in anything anymore.
I feel like I looked this up when we did the commentary, but I'll check because it's already there.
Even if he wasn't
Tony in the Super Mario Bros. Movie.
Oh yeah, that's so weird, but
the cloaked rider.
Yeah, what, you guys couldn't afford Zorro?
Is Zorro not public domain?
He's Lewis in the original Resident Evil 4. That's funny. He was just in the one of the Yakuza games.
Okay, so it's cool. He's still doing stuff.
He has not done TV in a while, though.
Oh, that's cool. When he's sleeping in front of the giant Wayne headstone.
Yeah, the visuals here are great. I love that you kind of get the bat through the window, but then does its own thing with it. Oh, this shot of him looks very Todd McFarlane. It's super cool.
They're pulling from year one a lot more than I remembered.
Mm-hmm.
This is awesome.
That is really cool.
Anime fan, it feels weird, especially weird that Ellen Yen disappeared because she has a huge role in the second season. That's what I'm saying is this is a show that should be brought back because there's unresolved plot lines. That's the reason to bring something back is like if you have the resources and you can finish it.
Yeah, but that's why I mentioned that future episode because you at least get some closure.
I'm used to Vicky having blonde hair because of the '89 film. Does she not have blonde hair anywhere else? She's blonde in Arkham City.
In the Arkham game,
she's blonde. But I'm sure she's had different hair colors over the years.
In the comics, she's traditionally a redhead.
Yeah, so they erased a redhead for the '89 movie.
Yes, they blonde washed a redhead.
Blonde washed her. That's the real reason John hates that movie.
Oh my god, it's the Jonkler.
The Jonkler?
Boys, I hate to be the bearer of bad news, but the Multiverse's Twitter has ruined the joke.
Oh,
they did?
Yeah.
Oh.
Damn it. We can't have nice things anymore.
They're referencing the Arkham memes.
Well done.
I'm out of the loop on so much of this. Oh, and we probably talked about it in the watch party, but Kevin Michael Richardson is just an awesome Joker.
Yeah,
I love his voice for the character.
He's like top 3. He's excellent. And one I wish they'd bring back more. You know, I mean, he's obviously a very prolific voice actor, but let him voice the Joker again in something. They brought Tom Kenny.
He might be in my top 3 Joker voices. DiMaggio's also up there.
They did bring Tom Kenny back as Penguin in the Batman vs. Ninja Turtles movie. That was fun.
Oh, that's right. Yeah.
This scene's great. Joker's like, oh, it's just a guy. Oh no. They fake killed Joker
you
twice.
Idiot. Although he kind of actually dies here. I mean, you know, he's turned into a vampire.
That's a great Penguin line. Breakfast to bed, fresh squeezed.
This movie would give you nightmares if you were a kid watching this.
I can only find the one now, but I swear I saw others. But here, I'll post it in our group chat.
Okay.
Hey, look, we're at the blood bank.
Oh.
Yeah.
R.I.P. man. Anyway, the Batwave.
Yes, because the police are clearly equipped to handle this outfit.
So, okay, to clarify why the Batwave doesn't work. Hypothetically, it makes more sense than the bat signal because you assume the idea is like, well, anytime like an alarm is triggered somewhere, that activates the Batwave and he goes to investigate.
Yeah.
The problem is the police never show up.
Yeah.
So, like, does the Batwave cancel out the police transmissions? I don't know.
Yeah,
that doesn't bother me.
Well, because going off that logic, you'd think that the police would get there before Batman.
Right.
But they're not there at all.
This scene is
also
awesome.
Gotham Police Department. If they were competent, we wouldn't have a Batman.
Okay, this is one of the best visuals in the movie. It also doesn't make any sense. We get that reflection from Joker, and it looks awesome. But we already established earlier scene. But we established earlier that one of the other vampire zombies didn't have a reflection that Alfred confronted. So that's a plot hole. Movie ruined.
Okay, cinema sins.
He's crawling on top of the ceiling all creepily.
He's crawling on rooftops. Aesthetically, this really reminds you of like the medical ward in Arkham Asylum. Just that color.
Are you stupid?
Oh.
And he plays Vampire Joker really well too. There's a bit of a difference in the voice.
Awesome.
No, I really like this Vampire Joker design. Robert, would you rather be a vampire or a werewolf?
That's a good question.
Or a werewolf vampire.
Oh, yeah, that's my answer.
I feel like I've seen.
I don't think that's actually
like
a thing.
before. It's usually
that
like
might be a
teen
thing.
fiction, but.
And why do you scream like a tiger?
So I've never been to a blood bank. Do they keep all of their blood in glass vials?
Probably
a
not.
little glass vial.
Glass vial. And this is so
I don't think
disturbing.
So. Yeah, obviously they had to change the color. They couldn't go with the bright red here, but it's so crazy that they got away with this.
It's almost creepier.
Yeah.
When it looks darker.
Well, and
there's
I
that
think the darker
of, like,
works because of the lighting in the room.
Yeah. Yeah, there's a in-universe.
I would be more asking why it's bright red instead of darker. Did somebody stick a nightlight in the blood?
No, and the scene of it raining on Joker's face, and then it like covers him,
and then licking.
So good. And he's licking it all up. Ugh. Hey,
look, it's the cage. Movie. Hey, look, it's the cage that Batman made Dick Grayson live in the Batcave. This is canon.
He fed him rats. Is Batman going to make Joker eat rats?
Yes. This is I don't know if you know this, but this is actually All-Star Batman.
I'm the goddamn Batman.
That was the full title of the show. The goddamn Batman.
Yeah, they censored it.
I'm really shocked. That's not like a spin-off of that Harley Quinn show.
Oh, yeah.
Good point.
Could be. I'd watch that over cool. Kite Man.
Hell yeah.
I'm not watching Kite Man.
Hell no. And I kind of like that Harley Quinn show. I just their Kite Man's really annoying.
Kite Man is one joke. You can't make that into a show.
Yeah, no.
I am kind of excited to do that Harley Quinn show at some point.
The first few seasons are good. The most recent season was not great.
I like how, I don't know if you guys had this, it looked like the blood cells just had like dust on them.
You gotta wipe them off.
This scene really creeped me out when I first watched it. I was like, oh god, we went there.
Robert, you clearly need to watch rated R movies at a much younger age.
Yeah, I don't know if I'd even seen T2 yet. But I like this stuff though. It's Batman using science to try to figure out how to cure vampirism.
That's something you don't see a lot of. Like, this isn't really a scientist Batman very often.
He is when the show needs him to be.
I feel like he's doing a little bit more detective stuff than he usually does in the show too.
Mm-hmm.
This is a little bit more, because I like the Batman in the show, but this is a little bit more like my Batman.
Well, they have time to like throw in the detective and the science when you're doing like a 25-minute kid show. No, he's just got to be action man that beats people up.
Yeah.
Oh God.
He's not brooding enough in the show too.
That's what I like though. It's kind of refreshing. He's not.
No.
He's kind of more of an optimistic Batman.
Batman's a brooder. Let him
well, I mean, he does brood, but
Batman's a sad boy. Let him be sad.
Anyway, fan, do you plan on doing a commentary on Batman Forever and Batman The Long Halloween for Halloween? Maybe not this year, but
not this year. Sometime in the future, yeah.
Like Forever is that one that we could probably just do whenever. Like that doesn't have to be a Halloween tie-in, but Long Halloween we might do that next year. Like
I was gonna say because Batman Forever has that throwaway scene. I always forget that that's technically a Halloween movie.
Yeah, it's just
the best of those '90s movies, '90s and '80s movies.
It's
good.
It is.
It's good. It's
so this favorite. Is a twist on the mythology I haven't seen anywhere else. We established that Carmilla was Dracula's bride. Which is kind of a fun Easter egg because that's like the classic vampire book that predates Dracula. There's tons of Carmilla adaptations, but traditionally, at least in the Dracula book, he has 3 wives, so they just combine those and Carmilla into one character. That's part of this Dracula's backstory. It's just kind of a fun Easter egg.
Mm.
And she looks a little like Vicky Vale.
I wonder if that's Carmelo at first. And I was like, what?
Carmelo?
Carmilla?
No, I thought you said Carmelo, like with an O.
Carmelo. Oh, okay. That's Carmella.
It's cool there's a bunch of references to that stuff because you can tell that they are fans of Dracula as well as Batman.
And in that picture, Carmella looks kind of like Vicky Vale. I wonder if that's going to go somewhere.
Oh.
Don't hide the garlic.
This stuff's messed up. Like Joker is going through straight up withdrawals. He's like my God. He's like, give me some blood, man.
It's funny because this is kind of like the realistic version of what would happen to those prisoners in the Flash show, where he just puts them in that prison.
I wish we got that episode.
No, the show never talks about it. They just forget they exist.
Yep.
People
and he's eating bugs.
I wish there was an episode where they just open one of them and it's just a skeleton. Like, we forgot to feed that one. Whoops.
I like this Vicky. She's smart. She instantly figures Bruce out.
Mm.
But wouldn't it be better if Alfred let her into the Batcave?
Yes. Especially right now. Vicky,
she saw Joker.
A monster in my basement. Fine.
She walks in and sees Joker just eating a cockroach.
No, she walks in and sees Bruce eating a cockroach.
Oh, Vicky.
This is so messed up but I kind of love it that Batman feels so much pity for Joker that he's just gonna give him some of his own blood. Just a little snack.
That's kind of messed up.
Yeah.
I like how far his no-kill rule will go.
Mm-hmm. Like I said, this is some of the best interactions we get with these two versions of these characters. Ew. Joker saying, "You complete me." Ugh.
And the Batman, Alfred tries really hard to get Bruce to settle down. I mean, that's
He
just
does. It
Alfred.
just never goes anywhere.
Yeah,
Wait,
but I mean,
so
that's
does
just
the
Alfred in general. Like, I feel like every
Oh, yeah,
adaptation
definitely.
does that.
so the Dark Knight quotes this movie?
There's an episode where Alfred makes a dating profile for Bruce.
Yes.
Robert, Noah, I will be shocked if Nolan even knows this movie exists.
No, I know. I forgot
I'm
that he
convinced
said
he
you.
read the comics he says his movies are based on.
No, I don't think so either. I just think it's funny that
I
in both of
think he's
those
read
movies,
Long Halloween. At
Joker says "You complete me."
least.
What'd you say, Robert? Sorry.
No, I think he's at least read Long Halloween. Like there's enough Long Halloween.
I think he looked at the pictures.
I disagree.
More than Tim Burton.
And
True.
I say that as someone who thinks that he eventually improved on that material, but I mean that's not hard. Joker, the picky blood drinker.
I love that when he changes back, like his suit changes color too. It's the clothes are tied to their
I love
vampirism.
the wound heals.
The wound heals, yeah. Oh, he blacks out too.
Yeah, that's the other convenient thing.
Is
so
that a convenient amnesia? Oh
Yes.
wait, we're not watching.
Yes, add to the counter. Like I said, I like that this movie's so standalone. Like, you don't need a prerequisite from the show to just get into this. That's really cool. It just makes it a little murky and hard to say when exactly this takes place in the show. Because, like, there's a season 2 episode with Solomon Grundy, and Batman's very, like, I don't believe in zombies. I don't believe in supernatural stuff. So, like, this has to take place after that episode, at least.
Which
so,
is
but
why,
it's just hard to pinpoint.
Which
Or
is
they
why I
weren't
resist
thinking
the
about
idea of if you're making a movie based on a show, it shouldn't require at least some knowledge of the show, because then you're just making a movie. Like, why are you putting it in that show's continuity?
Well, but it's that creative team. It's that aesthetic. So no, I don't have a problem
Okay,
with
but
that.
if you're not going to make it part of your show, then don't use your show stuff. Just do something else.
You could say the same thing about Phantasm.
Yeah, but with Phantasm, that's also clearly a prequel. Like, I can tell where that takes
Kind
place. At least the flashbacks.
Well,
And that
it's set
show is
somewhere
a little
within
more
that first season.
episodic.
Sure. So is this to a degree.
Yeah, I guess.
This is also before like that line really started, with Superman Doomsday and all those standalone direct. We weren't really doing those yet. Like every animated movie we were getting was a tie-in.
That's not.
Um,
Wait. I might have my timeline wrong, but I don't think that's true.
No, I think that's true.
Enemies is already out by this time, isn't it?
No, that comes later.
Oh, okay.
Those start in either 07 or 09. No, I think it's 07.
That feels earlier.
It might be
than
09.
It was
I think because Superman Doomsday is the
08.
first one. That's 09, right?
Yeah.
Damn,
it might be
was
07.
09. Huh.
Okay.
That feels earlier than it is.
Yeah. And I guess Brainiac attacks may have been after this week, and that was fucking weird because it was like kind of a Superman tie-in, but also clearly not in continuity. Yeah, that one was weird.
I've never seen that.
I don't know what happened with that.
That movie's such an anomaly.
Yeah.
So then, yeah, I guess Because I haven't seen it, but Batman Mystery of the Batwoman is clearly DCAU too, right?
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah, and that's like a year or two before this movie.
I've never seen it, but I've read the novelization like 6 times.
Oh, weird.
They had it at my library, and I was like, oh, I like that book.
So we gotta finally do that commentary so you can see that movie.
Yeah, except now I don't remember anything about the book.
Oh, you should reread it in preparation.
Oh, God, that's even in print now. It was like a junior novelization.
You can get it for $200 on Amazon.
If I wanted to, I would love to get the Friday the 13th novels from back in the day. I would love to do videos on those.
Dude, do you realize how many Jason X books there are? Holy shit.
Yeah.
That was a whole line of books.
No, and those are the ones I never had. Robert, I don't know if I told you about this, but I had 2 of them. And they were clearly from or after Jason X because the cover is just like artwork, like still shots from Jason X of Kane in the Jason X suit. Not the metal one, but like the regular one. And I had one. I read this like 100 times. It was called Church of the Divine Psychopath, and it's about this church who decides that Jason is the righteous fury of God, so they resurrect him to kill all the sinners.
That sounds awesome.
It's awesome.
Why can't they make that movie?
No, I'm like, you have an idea right here. The other one wasn't as good. He leads like an army out of hell. It was very weird.
So I really like this idea. So with this movie's mythology, so Dracula was staked, and that's what killed him, and he's a skeleton. But blood was able to revive him. But in this, his wife Carmilla was burned to death in sunlight, and now is just ashes. And he can't just use blood to revive her; he has to use a host to resurrect his bride. So it's just a fun mishmash of things.
When Gotham
also, the way
actors.
And I forgot to mention earlier, the opening of this is very Hammer, because that's how like a lot of the Christopher Lee Dracula movies are. Oh shit, we killed him off in the last movie. We got to figure out how to bring him back. So it's like always something different. He's like Freddy before Freddy. We always have to come up with some convoluted way to resurrect Dracula.
If Hammer has a scene where a dog pisses fire to bring Dracula back, it'd be the greatest movie I've ever seen. Rennie Harlan should direct a Dracula movie.
No.
Oh God.
And if
I've seen his Exorcist
is a film that he stands up for.
I've seen Rennie Harlan's Exorcist movie. I don't need to see his Dracula movie.
I don't want to hear it, Mr. Oh, Die Hard 2 is actually good, guys.
Wait, what?
Remember, you were like, "Oh, we should watch Die Hard 2. It's actually good."
Oh, I didn't hear what movie you said. Yeah, no, I think Die Hard 2 is okay. I didn't say it was great.
That's recorded as the first movie I logged this year because he was like, "Yeah, guys, you should watch it. It's really good." I was like, "I don't remember it being that good."
I didn't say it was really good. I said it was. It would be a fun watch party movie. The first one. I did not say. People, I did not say this. I would never say that Die Hard 2 is better than Die Hard 1. This is not me.
Don't tell me it didn't happen. I saw it happen.
Hey, at least we watched 3 after that.
That's true. 3 is the best sequel.
It is. Hands down. When are we starting our Die Hard channel?
Yesterday. That's based on a book, right?
I know it was a script. The initial script was very different than the final film, but I don't remember if it was based on a book initially.
This is fun.
This is really cool. Batman fighting a bunch of vampires.
Yeah, and with like the cure strapped to his. Take 2 and call me in the morning.
Also, what I really like about this action sequence is this movie doesn't take the easy way out where, oh, you just defeat Dracula and then all his minions will go back to normal. No. He has to take out all these guys first and then fight Dracula and deal with that.
Yeah.
I appreciate that because the movie could have easily done that.
I can tell you now that I for sure didn't remember this because I had it burned in my brain that Robin and Batgirl became vampires in this movie.
You're thinking of the zombie episode.
I was gonna say you're probably thinking of that, yeah.
And I know I've seen this, but that's probably been like 10 years, maybe more.
See, and this is a kids' movie. No one actually dies in this.
0 out of 10 movie. When are we gonna start our Power Rangers channel? People die in that show.
People die when they are killed.
That's what dying is.
That's what killing you means.
They picked the perfect role for Peter Dinklage. I don't care what anyone says.
Oh, did people not like that?
I don't know, but I'm just saying it's perfect. I don't care what you think.
No,
Some people didn't like the
great in that
effect.
scene. Oh, come on.
But I thought it was fine. I wish they brought him back in Endgame.
I have something that's been really annoying me lately, but I'm not going to bring it up on stream because that'll open a whole can of worms.
All right. Don't forget to tell us after.
Take the shot, Batman.
Take the bloody shot.
So I would say so you said earlier Batman in the story kind of fits the role of both Jonathan Harker and Van Helsing. I would say less Harker because he's clearly not really interested in Vicky Vale, and more he's just Van Helsing at this point.
Yeah. Just because Vale is the love interest. That's the only reason. It's weird to see the perspective from inside his cowl.
Yeah. Like that
you don't
Iron
usually see
Man
that.
POV shot. Oh my god.
Yeah.
It's sucking her plasma.
Robert, when we get there, I'm excited for you to see Buffy's take on Dracula.
Oh, cool.
Oh my god.
What?
I was just reacting to Vicky's life force getting drained. Maybe I might be a little bit behind you guys. I don't know, but that's fine.
I'm sure nowadays if this movie came out, people would complain. But I like that we're getting this because we don't get a lot of stuff with his parents in the show.
Right. Only a little in a couple episodes, but that shot's really cool. Like that looks very Batman Forever, with the bat flying at the camera.
Yes.
Robert, are you outraged that they had the pearls again?
No, we weren't sick of it yet.
I mean, I'm still not sick of it. We've had it twice in film.
We had it in the Joker movie.
4. Yeah, 4 at least.
Of all things.
Is it 4 at this point?
89 Begins, BVS, and Joker.
89 doesn't make a big deal out of the pearls, I don't think.
I think it does.
You get a slow motion shot of them hitting the ground.
The popcorn and the pearls.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, which is the name of our next album. Run, Vicky. Oh no, the sex pest penguin's back.
Get out of there.
We love the eye shot in like horror movies.
Mm-hmm. I really like that you get the mix of both like the classic like Bela Lugosi Dracula look and the more monstrous demon looking vampire. I like that we get both in this movie.
And it's funny because for a lot of people like the cliche horror shot is the hand coming out of the grave. I think for me at this point it's the eye opening.
Mm-hmm.
We don't do the hand out of the grave as much.
Yeah, it's kind of a lost art.
You bring it back.
The big thing this movie doesn't do is crucifixes, which is kind of surprising.
They probably didn't want a religious angle.
Yeah, I
It
feel
was
like
a
there's a thing with like really
family
just
movie.
imagery, and especially in kid shows.
Yeah,
Mhm.
playing it safe.
But
Even
I personally am not happy that there's no glowing crucifixes in this show. I'm just saying.
oh god.
I'm just saying.
Batman reached into his utility belt now and pulled out a crucifix-shaped lightsaber. I would clap.
Yeah.
So the catacombs that Dracula's been living in are gonna connect to the Batcave because of course they do,
Ah.
and that's fine.
That's fine.
I mean,
all
he has his
fine.
own Batcave, and it leads right into the Batcave. So there you go. They're connected.
All part of the plan.
Part of the plan.
I think
Even if
Sex Pest Penguin is scarier than Kung Fu Penguin we usually get in the show.
This is why Colin Farrell so far is the definitive Penguin, because he's not a sex pest.
I thought you were just saying because he is a sex pest.
No, so far he's not really a sex pest.
I don't know. He's pretty horny for what's her name?
Sophia?
Yeah.
Yeah,
No, I think he's scared
maybe.
of her.
Yeah.
I mean, that's
Part
the
of the
same
attraction.
thing when you think about it. I remember the Resident Evil 8 thing.
I was there.
I fought in the Microsoft Wars. We were beating each other with our own limbs.
Alfred, now's not the time to be playing a top-down vintage PC game. You should be helping Batman.
He's playing
But
the
I'm
Alien
about-
Isolation phone game.
I'm about to be to this next level, sir.
God damn, this Batman can take a hit.
Oh yeah. But I like that he's on the back foot this whole time, and he's luring Dracula here like he does have a plan B.
Yeah. See, when they're given time, this could be a traditional Batman.
Yeah. No, I really like this climax, how he's using his brains and his gadgets.
And just the pacing, the tone. Like, this does feel like just a good episode of that show, but with a story that warrants a whole movie.
A longer
know,
runtime. Yeah.
It's been a long day. No, not the car.
That's why they had to get a new car.
That comes later.
No, that's the in-universe explanation. It's because Dracula threw it off.
No, that's a different episode, Noah.
I don't remember this show too well.
God damn it, Noah.
Yeah, there's an episode in season 3 where he gets that Batmobile destroyed again, and then he builds the new one that he has for the rest of the show. Oh.
Someone stop Penguin. He's the bigger threat than Dracula right now.
Also, Joker is just used really well in this. Like, he's just in and then he's out. He's in this movie as much as the movie needs him. He's in the opening, then he's in the middle for a little bit, and then that's done.
We're not overusing Joker like we have been recently and stuff.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, it's kind of refreshing that by this point in the movie, Joker's already gone and we have just Penguin. Because I feel like we wouldn't do that now.
Joker would probably be the second big bad after Dracula.
Yeah.
Oh my god, Alfred shot him.
That was a good line, Alfred. Bite this.
Yeah, say the line after you take the shot.
No, you got to do it like Evil Dead, where he's like, swallow this, and then he pulls the trigger.
Yeah. Or The Matrix. Dodge this.
Trinity.
And then why doesn't he?
Help! Alfred! Help!
Noah has ruined that scene for me, by the way.
I'm glad. I'm glad to.
Ever since you pointed out how Keanu delivers that line, I can't stop laughing every time I see it.
True. Oh, I got to see that on the big screen.
Was it even funnier on the big screen?
Oh, it was great. Yeah.
We're gonna start a Matrix channel.
Honestly, you could.
This is awesome. Remember that throwaway line about this solar energy device they were working on? Hey, look.
Hey, remember when they had a line about alternate, like renewable energy in Avengers, and it never came back? This movie is better than the Avengers.
This line from Batman up here goes so hard.
I love that he says, "I am the Batman." He doesn't say I'm Batman. He says, "I am the Batman, bitch," and then he punches him for no reason. It's great.
And you're dust.
That is horrifying for kids.
Yeah,
that's so cool. Yeah, I think the punch was a bit redundant, Batman. I think
he just punched Skeleton. He had to feel good. That was for him. It was cathartic. So, John, do you think the Batman no-kill rule doesn't apply when you're dealing with an undead monster like Dracula?
Yes.
Oh, yeah.
I agree. I was just curious where you landed on that.
Because I have the same thing with Rach. Like, I think it's in Arkham Knight where you can like kill him. It's just because he's died a lot. So, yeah, whatever. I have the same thing, even though it's ridiculous. In that, I think it's Batman, Superman, or Supergirl movie. They changed the title to something I can't remember. But that's the one where they fight like that army of Doomsdays, and he has like a fucking battle axe.
That's Superman, Batman, Apocalypse.
Apocalypse.
Yeah, the comic is called Supergirl, so that's just what I call it. Screw you, DC. That's fine. He's fighting Doomsdays. I don't know why there's an army of them, but
I mean, he kills parademons in the Justice League movie.
We talked over it. It would have been really funny if when that SWAT team showed up, if they all just like lit up Penguin, and that's how he took him out of the show.
He's a vampire.
Oh God, it is really
now
funny that
he
gets blamed
for all this.
Yeah.
I don't know why anyone believes this, but it's fine. Like, oh, I guess it was the Penguin that made hundreds of Gotham citizens just be like, when has he ever done anything like that? How did he do that? I don't know.
I don't know.
And then we'll never see Vicky Vale again.
Nope. Yeah, this movie's kind of missing an epilogue. It's one of my nitpicks. But like I said, I like that it's just a self-contained
It's fine.
thing. All these credits are missing are a dated pop song. To really just
I will be right back.
Okay. We'll chat for a few minutes.
The movie's over.
So Noah, did you rewatch this ahead of time, or what was this also?
I did not. I decided to do like semi-blind watch. Obviously, I've seen this movie before, but like I said before, I don't go back to it that often, even though I do enjoy it. But yeah, it was good watching it again. Good movie for the. Yeah, it goes by. It's really well paced. It goes by real quick. Good movie for the spooky season.
Yeah. Like I said, I like that and again, it fits with that show. There's a lot of spooky episodes. The Solomon Grundy one in season 2 is just a straight up Halloween episode. That one I like to rewatch every year.
Yeah, I guess I could go back to that show more because there's a lot of episodes I remember being really cool. It's not a show that I watch a whole lot.
Yeah, again, it's like I wish like they could have worked like Ellen Yin into this. I just don't know where you'd have her or what you'd have her do. It's like I'm kind of glad that this movie's not bogged down in character at what's this character doing. I like that they keep it simple and focused.
I like that it's more focused. You could have had her as like because I guess this was after season 2 at this point, so she would be like his one ally at the GCPD anyway. I think that's what season 2 was mostly focused on.
It's just weird if you go from season 2 to this, because then Gordon's just not here, but then he'll be at the start of 3. Right. So that's probably that's like the best and worst thing about this is it's so standalone, it's so accessible. You don't need a prerequisite. You can show this to anybody. But if you're watching the show for the first time and you want to fit the show in there, there's not really a great spot for it. It's just like, whenever you're in the mood, like that's kind of the trade-off.
No, but I'd say you could kind of say the same thing about Mask of the Phantasm. We don't exactly know when that is set, and I'm fine with that because it works as a standalone piece on its own. And I mean, there's nothing I can think of in this movie that really contradicts anything in the first 2 seasons.
Yeah, well, and on my head. An animated series like is a mostly episodic show, but there's still some continuity where, like, if you're paying attention, that movie can't take place before the show. For example, there's an episode where they get the bat signal for the first time, and then in Phantasm, the bat signal is just there. So you're like, okay, so it has to take place before that episode or after that episode. So where does it fit in exactly? Who's to say? It's fine.
Yeah, and I mean, the chronological timeline of things is not one of my main concerns with that show.
Sure.
Yeah, and this show is a little bit more arc heavy than something like Batman the Animated Series, but it's still pretty episodic.
And maybe more people would talk about this if you could, I don't know, watch it on Max, or if you put it on the Blu-ray. Like, why do you have to go to Tubi to watch this thing?
You know, John, I was talking to John before the show because I foolishly assumed that this was still on Max. I think it was at one point. And he was like, "Oh no, yeah, I gotta rent it." And I was like, "Oh wait, I probably have to rent this too, don't I?" So that's what I get for not owning this.
Yeah, and this is an old DVD too. I've had this for a while.
Maybe I should pick up the DVD just so I have a copy of this movie.
I think I have 2 copies. I have this by itself and one of the shitty double-sided discs of like this and the Batman Superman.
Oh really?
And it's so random, but it was like, yeah, well, I have it, but the single disc is the one to get.
I'm just double checking because I can't believe this movie isn't on Blu-ray. It's like, is it not included in a 2-pack with something else, or?
I don't think so. If it's on a Blu-ray somewhere, it's probably just a shitty transfer, like not a actual restoration.
That's what I'm thinking. I'm just seeing it on DVDs right now, so damn. Well, like we said earlier, it really should have been packaged in with the complete Blu-ray set of the show. Like, I have no idea why they didn't do that.
Me neither. Especially when the animated series did it. That had 2 movies. The Batman Beyond one had the movie.
Like, the animated series one doesn't even have all of the movies in that continuity. It's only the first 2.
It doesn't have Batwoman, but to be fair, that was at least already out on Blu-ray by that point. So, like, that's a gettable.
Yeah. Yeah, but just like for a complete collection, you want to have everything. And that was before Batman and Harley Quinn came out too, so they wouldn't have been able to package that.
Right. Well, thank God they didn't.
Thank God they didn't.
Because I am still allowed to not own a copy of that movie.
Have you seen that, by the way?
I've still never seen it start to finish. We'll have to for the channel at some point. That could be a blind.
So you and John haven't seen that.
I know a lot of the bad stuff out of context. Like, I've seen clips, but I've never watched the start to finish.
We're watching that. I'm sorry, but
we will.
Oh, we will.
Any final thoughts on this movie? Anything you didn't get to?
No, I mean, it's just a really solid Batman and Dracula crossover. I think that, and I know I think we mentioned before that if we have time this month, we're going to try to review Batman Dracula Red Rain, which I don't know how much
this is loosely inspired by.
I was going to say, I'm interested to read that because I want to see how much this pulls from that. But I love seeing Batman, like more Batman stuff that takes more like horror elements and incorporates more of like the horror I love seeing the horror side of Batman explored more. So I think pairing him with a classic horror icon like Dracula is just so perfect.
Mhm.
It's just you're gonna get a fun time when you see those two on screen together, I think. But yeah,
It's Batman versus Dracula. It gives you what you want.
it's exactly what it says on the tin, you know.
It's better than most monster crossover
Yeah.
movies.
That is true.
And something I forgot about until I did like some quick googling before we did this is this isn't even the first Batman versus Dracula movie.
That's correct.
It's
Really?
been done twice before. Yeah, there are
Both unofficially.
two unofficial lost films. One of them directed by Andy Warhol. So yeah, it's just a interesting history with that.
And Batman and vampires just mix so well together. I mean, that's like one of the early Golden Age stories. Is I think it's the Mad Monk story where you get Batman versus vampire, which isn't Dracula, but it's still a vampire.
Oh yeah,
and then
I've read that. Yeah.
And then in the 70s or 80s, you get the Nocturna villain. You know, we use her sometimes. So we're always doing vampire stuff with Batman.
Yeah. Anyway.
I have one last thing. There's a bonus feature on this disc that's really funny where it's a science versus superstition where it's Reno Romano, the voice of Batman, narrating it. It's kind of fun because he talks about like all this mythology stuff with vampires, and then we'll be like fact and like relate it to something to the real world. So it's like really cheap. But he talks about like vampirism and biting and transferring stuff, and he talks about rabies and connects it to that. And then he talks about the vampires being allergic to sunlight, which isn't a thing in folklore at all. But he does talk about like that real life skin condition some people have where they can't get burned by sunlight or allergic to. So bring up all these things to be like fact, and here's a real life thing it's kind of similar to. Vampires are real, don't question it. And then he brings up vampires, you can't see the reflection. Moving on, fact. There's nothing
anyway.
There's no analogy, it's just fact. You can't see the reflection. Moving on.
Robert, we have other commentaries to do tonight.
That's true.
Hey, come on.
Well, thank you guys for joining.
I thought it was funny.
No, I mean, it's funny. I wouldn't normally rush him, but we still have to do Terrifier before I do my mystery commentary tonight.
True.
Anyway. The only reason I said anything. If it was just like us doing stuff tonight, I wouldn't have cared. So I apologize, Robert. But that is funny. Robert says, I'm never coming past.
Anyway, this is the one I leave over.
While we're doing our outro, pull up Terrifier on Peacock if that's how you're watching it.
Okay.
Because you're going to have like 2 minutes of ads.
I will. I also need to get the subtitles turned on, so it'll take me a minute.
Yeah, Robert, stop yakking. Noah, Robert, as always, it has been a pleasure. We will not be live on this channel this Sunday. We are going to be playing Silent Hill 2 over on Haven of Horror. That is purely self-indulgent. I was going to wait till Tuesday, but I want to play it. It's October, and yeah. Fuck you.
It's the spooky season.
Join us for a Terrifier commentary over on Haven of Horror. Noah, I know you don't like that movie, but if you stay, we'd love to have you, but it's up to you. And we will see you guys next time.
See ya.